Hi guys, it's Josie again. On my Mounjaro journey, I'm up to 12.5 milligrams dosing. I started that last week, so I just wanted to give you a little update. I've been doing also a lot of lifting weights. I've been doing it like 4 times a week these past few weeks. And with the Mounjaro combined with that, I'm starting to have like lower blood sugars. So that's really a good thing. I have zero side effects from the 12.5 milligram, except to say maybe a headache the first day. I'm taking it tonight. I haven't lost any more weight, but I am lifting weights, so I assume that's the reason. And I am combating against insulin, which I take daily, so as for my diet, I pretty much I'm not having the food noise, except maybe like yesterday I had a bit. Today I'm just eating normal, which isn't much. I had a protein shake this morning, an avocado, and a little bit of leftover supper from last night, which was pork, a little bit of pork, ground pork, and potatoes. So that was basically my breakfast. As for blood sugar, I woke up this morning with the shakes, so I didn't take my blood sugar as per se. I had a coffee and that kind of slowed it down, but then I took it a little later and I was at 7.2, I believe. And it was still shaking, so that to me means my blood sugar is coming down and it's not used to being that low at 7.2. So normally people get the shakes when they get to about 4, but with me it happens higher. So now I know that the Mounjaro is starting to take effect because just the insulin alone would not do that. I did cheat a little bit this week, mind you. I had some carbonara noodles on the weekend, and I think I ate pasta the night before last. Yesterday was ham with veggies, and I just had a little bit of mashed potatoes, like maybe a half a cup. I don't really eat that many carbs except earlier in the day. I try not to eat any at night. And I had yogurt last night with about 10 blueberries. So it's not that much. Fitness-wise, it's getting better because I am working out. So I'm feeling less pains, less inflammation. So things, even my rings are loose now. It's falling underneath, so that tells me it's loose. Because normally it would stay like that. And there's a little bit of noise going on in the shopping center today. Some kids are screaming. So that's about all I have to say about that. And I'll be taking my second dose tonight of the 12.5 milligram. And I've got 2 weeks after that to take it. So, it'll be a while maybe before I post again, unless something drastic happens, like I lose 10 pounds all of a sudden. But I'm not relying on Mounjaro to help me lose weight because I know the insulin is fighting it. So until I reduce my insulin levels, which I may have to do, or I may not. So I'm not depending on that. If I do reduce my insulin, taking my insulin at night, I'm still at 100 units. If I do that, then maybe I'll start losing a pound or 2 here and there. But I am burning a lot of calories, so I am in calorie deficit, and I'm still not losing weight. So that's hogwash to me. It always has been. Calorie deficit, my foot. It all has to do with metabolism. I don't burn fast, and I never have, and the insulin counteracts that. It just tells your body, store the fat, store the fat, store the fat. Store the energy, no matter what it is, whether it's fat, sugar, just store it. And but I am noticing that my fat is getting softer in my tummy. It used to be really, really hard. Now you can feel the texture is changing, so it could be the start of a good thing. And I'm working out 4 times a week, like I said, doing weights. Plus, I do exercise on the other days, except maybe one day I take a complete break. But I won't prevent that from letting me go take a walk or, do Japanese walking or anything like that. I can still do that even if I'm on my off day. So, what else was there? Well, yeah, I'm working. I started this week, so I did upper body yesterday. I might do lower body tonight. But when even if you're just doing upper body, if you're going to do lower body, I was doing upper body, chest, back, and shoulders because there's a lot of those exercises. And then I want to do arms at the same time as my tummy or my tummy and my legs because I don't have that many leg exercises to do. And I split that up in 2 days anyway during the week. So, one day might be arms and tummy, and the next day might be just legs or a combination of all three. But don't forget that when you work your arms, you're also working your back and your shoulders. Okay, so you got to go kind of easy so that you're not in pain all the time. If I could do 4 days with 1 day in between, I would, but I really can't do that because then I'd always be stuck. I'd have to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, and then I'd be stuck again on Monday. So there'd be 2 days anyway. So even if I do Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Friday, Saturday, that's fine. Or if I do Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, that's fine too, Just depends on the days you have available. But I always do upper, lower, upper, and lower. And I do about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. So that's on my Bowflex. That is about between 13 and 15 different exercises. But I try to arrange it so that the bench is always placed the same way. And the weights are pretty much the same all the time, right? So I don't have to go around and move that around all the time. So that's where the hassle is with the Bowflex. But it's no more of a hassle than going to the gym and having to change machines. So, and you have to wait for people, and then, I can't do that one. I got to go to another machine. Yeah, so that's my take for this week. And I hope that you're doing well on your journey. And if you have any questions about side effects or anything like that, the only thing I have like right now is heartburn, but that's because I had hamburger pork. And I know that gives me heartburn. And my digestion takes longer with Mounjaro, so that's going to have an effect on your acid and on your bile and all that stuff. So it's a little bit normal. So you got to drink more water, get it to go down. Hot water is even better. And soups, hot tea, stuff like that, that's really makes the food go down faster. And do I wake up in the middle of the night? Yeah, I do. Mostly because I have to go to the bathroom. But I do dream a lot. So maybe that's the Mounjaro, maybe not. But I've always been a dreamer, so. Could be my sugar that was acting up last night. Could be a lot of things. Low blood sugar will wake you up. Or it'll put you in a coma. So it's do or die. What else is there? Yeah, so keep up the exercise. That's, the best recommendation. Drink your water and try to stay in a calorie deficit. And when I say calorie deficit, you don't have to go to 1,000 calories, right? Depends on how much you weigh. If you weigh 300 pounds and you're used to eating 5,000 calories, well, if you eat 3,000, you're just going to maintain the weight. You're not going to gain any more, you're just going to maintain it. But if you go down to 1,500, well, you're going to be losing weight, right? Eventually. Like me, it's not doing it yet. And I don't eat 10% of my, of my weight. So maybe I eat 1,200 calories a day, maybe 1,400 on a big day. And I don't eat sugars and stuff like that. I do eat a little bit of carbs, but if I do eat them, it's early in the day, and I try to burn them off after. So if I'm going to the gym, I might have a little bit of carbs. Going to the gym, my basement, I might have a little bit of carbs, just so I don't start getting the shakes while I'm working out. Anyway, just keep doing your best. And who the hell cares if you're on Mounjaro or not? If it doesn't make people happy, quit worrying about what other people think. And, being a little bit chubby is not the end of the world. It actually keeps you looking younger. So, I've seen people have lost a lot of weight and their faces are like, ugh, right? So, and they have wrinkles now, So, take the good with the bad is what I'm telling you. I'm doing it more for my diabetes. So I don't want to end up on the insulin 3 times a day. That's going to make me gain even more weight, but I might end up on it anyways. So there's nothing much I can do about that. Diabetes is one of the worst things you can have. It leads to foot amputations. It leads to heart attacks. It leads to anything bad that can happen, strokes, circulation problems, swelling of the limbs, all kinds of things, And what you want to do is avoid diabetes. So, if you're a pop drinker and you drink full sugar, just cut that out of your diet. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, is someone become diabetic because they drink Pepsi or Coke or whatever. I mean, nature wasn't meant for us to be drinking Pepsi or Coke. It was meant for us to be drinking water or tea or coffee. Like you can drink pop, but at least take the 0 sugar ones. Don't like. I might have one once every 2 days or something. I have one bottle and it lasts me like 3 days. So it's not, that's not what nature intended for us to drink. It just doesn't make any sense. You're just making other companies rich. That's it. It's syrup. It's sugar and water. That's it. With a little bit of flavoring. You could actually make that at home yourself if you wanted to, which I would never do, but, and things like ice cream and stuff. Well, make your own and use artificial sweetener. It's easy, You mix it up and mix up the cream with the sugar, and then you freeze it and you're done. You can churn it if you want, but use artificial sweetener and vanilla or fresh fruit or whatever you want. Sweeten it with that. But lay off of the commercial stuff. It's just garbage. They don't care what they put in their food for us. They won't even eat their own food sometimes. Anyway, if you have any questions, don't be shy. And I would appreciate it if you liked my video. I'm not trying to make money with YouTube. But, they show my videos more if people do like it and if people do subscribe, I have a few subscribers, I know that. So thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And, you might find my videos boring, and that's fine too. Just, but I'm just giving you my take on what Mounjaro's doing with me. And I think I might videotape myself doing my gym. But I'm trying to figure out a way to speed up the video, unless you guys speed it up when you watch it. But I use the Bowflex Blaze, and there's 60 different exercises you can do with it. Takes up less room because it's just one machine and you got all your 60 things. But they're not, the heavy weights. They're just these little poles that go like that, and then you pull with the straps, and they pull down. And but I prefer that to going to the gym. I don't have time. I don't have the money. I don't have the energy to go to the gym, do an hour, 2 hours, because it takes longer, because there's people waiting for the machines. And I just don't want to go through that, And then you got all these people watching you, and some people videotaping and all this stuff. So I could do that in the privacy of my own home. And even if I didn't have my Bowflex, I'd buy some weights. I'd do a bench maybe. You could get a bench, that does both the 45 and the flat. This way, even on the flat, you can do crunches and, these things and those things, the curls and the whatever. So with, you get one pack of 2, 3, and 5 pounds, and then you get the 10, 15, 20, and up for hand weights, right? You can do that, or you could get a barbell, or you can, it's up to you. But if you start getting barbells, well, you're into the larger equipment, right? And you can also do calisthenics at home using a stairway for push-ups to start with. You could do a yoga mat, do bridges and stuff like that. And I have a pole too where I could do pull-ups and hangs, and I have my treadmill. So my basement's pretty big, so I have room for all that. And some of you prefer to go to the gym, which is fine too. I mean, enjoy yourself, right? You get to see people. If you're single, even better. You might get to flirt a little. But as long as you exercise, that's the important thing. You got to keep moving. I don't care how big you are. If you can't walk, then sit down and do the exercises sitting down. If you are, too big to even move out of your bed, you can do weights in your bed. You can work your arms, you can work your legs, you can do something. There's always something you can do. And don't let the rest of the world judge you. And if they do, that's fine. Just let them be. It doesn't matter. I'm getting at an age right now where I don't give a crap what people think. So, because we all put on our pants one leg at a time, and we all are just striving to do better for the most part, right? Some people don't, and that's fine for them. And who am I to judge them? But at the same time, don't come and harm me because you're like that, right? So, as long as they don't harm you. And if you don't take things personally, don't let what other people think bother you. And I'm sure if you're insecure, well, a lot of these people are insecure too. We all go through that, periods of insecurity. You apply for a job, oh, am I going to get it? You open a business, oh, is it going to work? I mean, we all have those insecurities, Do I invest my whole life into this new business? Okay, well, we all go through that. So psychologically, what you got to do is think of you. And that's the most important thing. Think of you. You only have one life on this planet. You don't have two. And if you worry about what everybody else is thinking, you're not going to do what you want to do. All right. So you guys take care. We'll see you next time. Hopefully soon. Okay. Bye.